Hey guys, and welcome back to Let's Play Encased. We are at the... what is it? Where are we? C12 Nashville Facility Residential Area. A lot of locked doors, and the only way I can open them is with brute force, which increases fatigue. Now we read some medical dossiers and a bulletin board. Everybody seems to have gone insane. I'm not sure if it is very useful to break in and try to talk to the residents. Also, I'm wondering if I can... this turret... it doesn't seem to be activated. It doesn't trigger if I stand next to it. Let's scan it. Nothing happens. Alright, I'll stay in stealth mode just to be sure. Right, I dropped the stuff. And I think I actually need the canister to make fuel. So I'll pick that up later. Heralds. Is there anything of interest in this room? By the way, we talked to a Orange employee earlier, and he was not insane. He went upstairs to get out. We warned him that the elevator is broken, but he went upstairs anyway. Could maybe check on him. Let's actually do that later. First, check the rooms if there is anything that can help us. Maybe a computer terminal. This door is actually unlocked. Right then. Marjorie Stalwart.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit. Our honest work will make the world a better place.
A woman in blue-wing overalls is standing in a closet. She looks like she's pondering whether to give the floor a good wash or just mop up a bit. The soap box she's examining is empty. Take a closer look. Marjorie Stalwart, ordnance technician. Her dark face glistens with drops of sweat. Let's try to talk to Marjorie. You greet the woman, introduce yourself and ask if she's alright. She almost ignores you. Almost, because she eventually fixes her eyes on your face, struggling to focus. Try to see if she is alright. Asked what happened, but she remained silent. Try to see if she is alright. Well, what do you think? Touch her shoulder.
Our honest work will make
You
the
touch your
world a
woman's
better
arm as
place.
she pulls away, slowly
World
but
a better
determinedly.
place.
Her eyes regard you steadily, as though she wishes to tell you something, but for some reason can't. Right, snap her out of it. The blue body convulses once and she glares at you, first enraged, then confused,
In case of
and
damage,
finally in understanding.
forfeit.
Yet neither of you is any better off than before. Right. So. That was not very helpful. Nothing particularly interesting in room 1. Or room 2. Rest, alright. Could maybe use a rest. Well, definitely after we try to open this door, because the only way I can do that is by using a brute force. Increasing fatigue. Anagon, very good, fatigue minus 300. And a heavy weapons technical manual. Nashville Master Key, a keycard for the emergency reactivation of engineering systems at C12 Nashville facility, only to be used in accordance with the proper security protocols. Well, that might be very useful. Heated ham, and that's the only thing we can make.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
In the residential area, you found a crazed employee drooling by the refrigerator. In the fridge, you discovered the master key to the Nashville excavation zone. And this is the orange employee we met earlier, who was not crazed and who left for the higher level. So no point in actually talking to these guys. Let's save the Anagon we found and let's just rest a bit. Right, you can't rest while danger is near. I think there was a bed in the first floor.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. Encased
Might as well
damage.
check that out and see if we can find the orange employee. Right, there is a... There he is. Tim Ginsberg. Yeah, I told you the elevator was broken. Standing beside the fallen elevator, Ginsberg resembles a Christmas tree. A few chains are dangling from his neck and he's wearing a lady's gold watch on his left wrist.
Why are you bugging me?
He levels the gun at you with a practiced motion. Things are looking shit around here. The elevator's crashed. Yeah, I did tell you that. And I haven't found any other exits so far. Maybe you know where one to find. Ask him where he got his gun, where did he get the watch and jewelry, or suggest it might be possible to get through the air shaft. I don't think it is, but let's suggest it anyway. No, it's not. I tried. There's this yellow smoke filling the shaft. I don't know about you, but I'm not going back there. Well, it's kind of obvious where he got the watch. He stole it. And he probably stole the gun too, but let's ask him anyway. The barrel of the gun is held to your forehead. It feels cold. Decker doesn't even know where the bullets come out. What use would it be to her? Any more questions? Still holding me at gunpoint. Right.
Later.
Leave the guy. Let's rest for a bit. Well, that's 45 minutes. Let's rest a little bit longer. Right. And let's get back to the residential area, and then I think we should go to the offices, because the residential area doesn't give us anything useful. And we probably want to take the servo shell. And let's head to the offices and computer room. Maybe we can do something useful there. As you reach the office level, you hear a quiet crackle. Your Kairos is registering an increased level of anomalous radiation. According to the readings, it initially appeared on the first level of the complex. It has been increasing since then. You hear a chewing sound from somewhere close by. That's promising. You look up from the handheld display to see a man standing in the corner. His face is covered with blood. His eyes are glowing like headlights. He howls menacingly as he looks in your direction.
That's funny. There's no records about the emanation. I have one theory. The emanation abruptly surpassed the level that is fatal for consciousness.
In the residential area, well, you found a crazed employee. Well, everybody there is crazed. We did find the master key to the Nashville excavation zone though, and upon arriving on the 3rd floor you discovered an even more desperate situation. Several more survivors, but they're all insane and aggressive. You'll have to keep your weapons at hand as you continue your search for the expedition.
None of the local scientists had time to take notes.
Right, so combat imminent. Victor. A high resistance values, except for psychic. I do have a psychic weapon, a glove, I think it was. Lowest value actually heat. And we do have an option to lower the resistances, but target needs to be close by. So for now let's go for a heat shot.
There was outsider radiation everywhere. Someone passed through here.
Apparently, there's some
scattering their
connection
light.
between the emanation intensity and the condition of the employees. It's a pity you don't have time to undertake a study.
Vulnerability assessment. And go for a high temperature is 3. High temperature shot. And 27 points of damage needed. Maybe 2 regular shots. Fixer. Restore the integrity of complex machines. Electrical equipment and Techno Woman comic book. Can we actually scan Victor?
The scanner doesn't register this emanation, but receives concurrent radiation. Does this mean that all radioactive zones
No.
under the dome release similar emanations? Interesting.
Right. Probably should talk to Ronald. Can get in the room through the ventilation hatch. This door is locked.
Apparently, there's some connection between the emanation
These doors
intensity
are
and the
open.
condition of the employees. It's a pity you don't have time to undertake a study.
This door is also open. But don't know if we are able to take on 3 guys. And don't know what's around the corner here. Let's maybe
Possessed her to lock me in here.
get out of the suit. Well, first make a save. Right, that's not really what I wanted.
something else of crucial importance. The emanation wasn't permanent. Supposedly, it has abruptly increased during the last couple of days.
Unidentified relic. And some money.
Supposedly, it has abruptly increased during the last couple of days. I wonder why that is. There's no records about the emanation. I have one theory. The emanation abruptly surpassed the level that is fatal for consciousness. None of the local
Several
scientists
terminals.
have taken notes.
Mariner boots and melee weapons technical manual. Shoes are an upgrade apparently, so drop the old boots. Access denied.
Louise is killing
Bare hand hacking.
Possessed her to lock me in.
Greetings, employee. We can read the introductory fragment of the article Psionics. The theory that relics influence the psyche in a physical way is questionable. We are likely dealing with self-suggestion, wishful thinking, even mass hysteria in some cases. Entities must not be multiplied beyond necessity. Right, they all need to be hacked. Introductory fragment again. The nature of the so-called psionic effect exhibited by a subset of relics remains obscure. For all we know, the hypothetical particle dubbed psion in our laboratory might be completely unrelated to the four known types of physical interaction. And a introductory fragment of the article Neuro interfaces. Thanks to the latest research, we are now one step closer to the technical implementation of a human-machine neuro interface. This new tech offers a wide array of opportunities in several branches of engineering. First and foremost, it lets us create giant humanoid robots.
Code red. General alert. Code red. General alert.
Louise Decker Schultz.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
There's something that doesn't.
The door opens quietly, almost inaudibly. In a dim room saturated with pale lamplight, you see a woman. She's sitting on a bench, head in her hands. Indistinct words blurring into sobs reach your ears. You listen closely. The woman is singing. Her voice is shaky and she won't lift her head. Call out to her. Knock gently on the wall. Wait for her to finish singing. Let's knock gently on the wall. The woman stops singing and slowly lifts her head. She flinches a little when she sees you. Raising her Cirrus flashlight, she examines you anxiously. Your silvery uniform is covered with a spray of mud and blood. A badge is torn off and in its place a bloody handprint has been swiped across her whole jacket.
I'm listening.
You aren't mad, and apparently you are also not mad. And you aren't from here. Right, Ginsburg mentioned a woman named Decker. Ask if that's her. Right, tell her Ginsburg mentioned a woman named Decker and ask if that is her. Decker Schultz, Silver Wing, Magellan Base. So we found one of the expedition, I guess. The Silver awkwardly rises to her feet. I reckon you're from the rescue team. Well, as the expedition leader, I'll bring you up to date. The mission has failed. Our technician is dead. Our guard disappeared. The orange ran off. And the white is slowly going mad. That's my short report on the mission results. If you need more information, feel free to ask. So, what about... Let's ask for an account of the situation from the start. You really want to hear what it was like? We arrived before the storm. The connection was already lost by then and there was something wrong with the people. No, not something. Everything about them was wrong. Yeah, I agree. Seymour Hobbs, head of security, he greeted us. He reported that communications with Magellan were down and needed to be restored from the command center on the 3rd floor. He gave no details, just said there was a problem. Hobbs took us to the 3rd floor, then went back upstairs. Maria went to the command center and these people, they just rushed at us. They devoured Maria, pop shot several of them and locked the rest in the hallway. They are very weird, they don't seem to feel pain at all. What else is there to say? Now I'm here. Ginsburg yelled at me and ran away. So Ginsburg was also part of the expedition. That's why he isn't crazy. Bob went for help, said that until they arrived we had to talk to Hobbs. Activate isolation mode and seal the bunker. He still hasn't returned. And Ron, something's going on with him. Did I mention that yet? Yes, you did. So we met Ginsburg, not sure who Bob is. Or Hobbs. Hobbs was security. Seymour Hobbs, yes. And Ron. Maybe this guy. Learn more about the group members' fate. Ask how the technician died. They ate her. Maria Werner. Find out how the black went missing. It was me who gave the order. Sent him to find help. He was still able to contact us when he reached the surface. Then it was too noisy and the connection was lost. He never replied after that.
Attention.
And
Attention.
Ginsburg.
Please handle relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will
I'm
be
glad he's
forfeit.
gone. Where did I put my gun? Have you seen it? Yeah, I think I do. Ginsburg has it. And what about the scientist who is going mad? So this is the scientist who is going mad. It started as soon as we got here. He saw these people and started laughing. He kept laughing and saying Swarovski was right. He'd approached them and touched them. I realized he was off his rocker right away. I locked him in that hole. Figured it'd be safer this way. So what about this Swarovski the scientist was talking about? Does it matter all that much right now? Look what's going on here. Does it really matter what a madman was thinking? And we probably... Well, not sure if it's very useful to talk to the scientist. But let's ask if we can talk to him anyway. He's over there behind that door. You can talk to him when you're done. Right. That's it for the information from Louise Decker. I'm not a scientist or a doctor. I don't know what's going on here. But I do know that according to protocol, we have to contact our superiors at Magellan first chance we get for further instructions. How can we contact Magellan? Or why hasn't she gotten in touch with Kingsley herself? Well, I told you, Maria tried to restore the connection and died. When they ate Maria, we locked the door to the command center. Take the key. Restoring the connection is the top priority now. And Louise leans back and fans herself, exhausted.
Later.
So Louise Decker-Schultz asked us to re-establish connection and inform Martin Kingsley about the events on Magellan. We found the surviving members of the expedition on level 3 of Nashville Base. Squad leader Louise Decker-Schultz and Ronald Steele from White Wing, who was locked up in the adjacent room. The Silver claims she isolated Ronald because he was behaving strangely. Boss, this needs to be verified. Alright. Ronald Steele.
There's no records about the emanation. I have one theory. The emanation of
Door is locked.
is fatal for consciousness. None of the
It should
local
give us
scientists
maybe
have
a
time to take
key.
notes.
No, so again, brute force needed.
That's funny. There's no
The door selectron port was clumsily broken at some point. You can hear a quiet drone from behind the door. A small silver plate reading computer room points at the source. Put your ear against the door and listen. Knock on the door. Put your ear against the door and listen. You listen closely and pick up on a calm voice, barely audible above the humming of the mainframes. You can hear a keyboard clicking. The dependence is linear, that much is clear. The differing reactions of different organisms can be attributed to psychological factors, physiological factors actually. Obviously not weight and apparently not age or gender. We'll use this formula to calculate. No, mods won't work here. Let's knock on the door. You can hear footsteps in the room. Quiet, but heavy.
You again.
Is that you, Louise? Open the door already. Enough of this idiocy. For once, try to be professional. So let's introduce ourselves.
Come on, don't be shy.
I'm glad to hear you, Aunt Louise. As you can see, she and I aren't quite hitting it off. Ronald Steele, White Wing. I'm a member of the expedition crew. Apparently a former member. My colleague decided I was dangerous and locked me in here. Well, maybe with good reason. Look, I don't have time to prove I'm normal. Just open the door. We don't have much time. Tell him you'll discuss this with Louise and leave. I've already tried discussing this with Louise, to no avail. Whatever, go ahead.
Apparently, there's some connection between the emanation intensity and the condition of the employees. It's a pity you don't have time to
Both
understand.
Louise and Ronald have strong psychic irradiation. Well, same goes for me. Tell Louise you should probably release Steele. Ask her to unlock the door and release the White. Let's save before we do that. You might have valuable information and
Something else of crucial
also...
importance. The emanation wasn't permanent. Supposedly, it has abruptly increased during
Well,
the
there is a
last couple of
terminal
days.
here we could
I wonder why that is.
use. That might be useful. So ask her to unlock the door and release Ronald. Are you insane? He's like the others in the corridor. He's mad. Do you understand the risk? Tell her you know a thing or two about madness. And Steele doesn't show any of these symptoms. But he was laughing, acting all weird. What was I supposed to think? The Silver approaches the door and presses her selectron to the broken panel. A green light flashes. And she returns to the bench, keeping her eyes on the door as they slide open. The person who emerges from the dark computer room looks nothing like a scientist. His broad shoulders and military bearing resemble those of an elite forces officer. Only the silver badge that says Ronald Steele, physicist, and the lab uniform suggest he works for White Wing.
Yes?
It's nice to see living people for a change, even you, Louise. You think you look normal, you were laughing and chanting. Swarovski is right. That's because Swarovski was right. Everything he said was right. This halo eye effect isn't an autonomous phenomenon. It's a link in a chain of symptoms. If anyone but his colleagues listened to Gabriel, none of this would have happened.
Relics carefully. In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Anyway, let's decide what we're going to do. We're sitting on the proverbial ticking time bomb. Listen what Louise has to say. Yeah, that was the first priority. Re-establishing the connection. I thought Magellan would send real help. Sorry, I didn't mean to insult you, but the only thing we can do... We can't afford to wait, Louise. Ronald interrupts her. Let's stick to the protocol. First of all, you must contact Magellan. Then the main phase of the operation can begin. I did the calculations. Turns out that the base is in a kind of a bubble. The strength of the radiation inside the bubble is uneven, and the nature of the wave propagation suggests that the source is down there in the excavation zone. When I was done with my calculations, I found some notes regarding relic excavation. Apparently they did something not quite ordinary. I just put 2 and 2 together and came to a conclusion. That finding caused all of this. So some kind of relic or some kind of discovery in the excavation zone. So how can we contact Magellan Station? All the complexes are built alike and the security measures are similar. Take the left corridor, find the main computer, disable the final protocol and re-establish the connection. That is probably the first thing we should do. There must be a conference hall nearby with large screens in it. It's actually meant for communication between bases. You can contact Magellan from there. Any questions? How can we get into the excavation area? Yes, that's a good question. Turn right and follow the corridor. You'll find an elevator that will take you there. It's supposedly blocked, but you can run it with the master key. It's in the shape of a card, usually kept by one of the employees. Try searching the residential area first. What exactly was found during the excavation? Can't say for sure. They assembled a special research crew to study that relic. Or rather, they were planning to do that. Everything happened too fast. Is it dangerous to approach the radiation source directly? I guess so, but let's ask him anyway. Staying here is just as dangerous as touching that thing with your hands. Right, it's settled then. We need to go down and find the radiation source. Good. Let's go quick. Louise, are you ready? I can see you're not feeling well, but you need to pull yourself together. And Louise is maybe going insane. What does she mean by crows? Did you see how many of them flocked to Nashville? Some even managed to make it down here. Let's hurry it up. The relic is down there somewhere. So the white Ronald is indeed a sane and stable person. We freed Ronald. We need to get to a radiation source located directly beneath the excavation area. The white's plan, Ronald's plan, is simple. Find the dangerous relic and neutralize it. We need a master key. Security key card. We do have a Nashville master key. For the emergency reactivation of engineering systems, only to be used in accordance with the proper protocols. That may be it. You'll need a master key. I think we have it. So do we need to go down to the excavation area, or do we need to re-establish the connection to Magellan? After talking to the surviving members of the expedition, you were able to reconstruct recent events. A particularly valuable relic was discovered in the excavation area, and emanations from this relic caused the catastrophe. Together with Steele, you came to the conclusion that someone must venture down to the excavation zone and neutralize the relic. Alright. But before I do that, I will probably try to re-establish the connection. Is maybe in this area. And we also didn't explore the rest of the office and computer level offices. Control terminal.
Attention, attention. Please handle relics
Conference hall.
In case of damage, your life will be forfeit.
Administration. This is the elevator to the excavation zone. Alright. So computer room first. That's something for the next episode. For now, I'll make a cut here. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.